Hi, folks. How are all of you? As always, a pleasure to connect and speak with you on contemporary topics with respect to life and careers. And I would urge you to subscribe to this channel if you think those are the areas which are probably of interest to you. A very, very interesting and I would say real life experience which I wanted to share with you primarily in the backdrop of artificial intelligence tools taking over the workplace or probably conquering the workplace world. I just want to quickly illustrate my own case. The idea is not to fear monger. The idea is to not really spread negativity around to all of you, but to probably keep you informed about how things are transforming at a very, very rapid pace and how AI is really impacting our work life. Of course, in my case, I am a freelancer and I do a lot of freelancing gigs. So the perspective which I offer is that of a freelancer. It is not of a full-time employee like many of you would be. But despite that, the whole idea is to illustrate how AI or AI tools are being used by corporates today almost in every possible way to ensure that they get the best out of the resources deployed. They get the best value for money, and also in the process they also will make sure that workforce optimization happens in whatever way possible. Again, AI tools are today industry agnostic. You can deploy AI tools in the technology industry. They deploy AI tools and machine learning in the manufacturing space. It is deployed across functional areas, deployed for extreme levels of analysis in finance and accounts, marketing campaigns, a whole lot of things like that. One can go on and on and on depending on where you are and what you are in terms of roles and responsibilities to understand how AI is going to play a role. Another thing is the perspective which I offer is something which is specific to me, but again, depending on where you are, depending on what role you are in today, depending on where you are in the corporate ladder, whether you are on the entry level, middle level, senior level, whether you have a team or whether you are an individual resource, number of factors will play a role in terms of how AI is going to impact you, and you probably are better aware than me about what AI's future impact is going to be. Visualize where what kind of, don't look at today. Today AI is probably in a stage where the advent is happening slowly. AI is probably stepping into the workplace, stepping into your domain, stepping into some points of your job description, I say. But 5 years down the line, if you probably want to relook at your job description today and see what all can be taken over by AI, I think it will be a huge eye opener. So after that, after 5 years from now, or on 5 years from now, if you take away, if you list about 20 bullet points in your job description and you see AI taking away 12, will we get paid the same compensation for the remaining 7 bullet points? That is a billion-dollar question all of us should be asking today. Without going much into this story, I'll quickly illustrate what has happened in my case. Number one, in the past few years' time, at least in the past 3-4 years' time, I've made a fair amount of revenue and earnings by writing gig. This writing can be any kind of writing. Writing can be helping students in their college assignments, helping ghostwriters, helping people put up blog posts on a regular basis, helping corporates devise their corporate communication, internal communication, a number of things like this. And in this domain, I had three big clients in the past 3-4 years, and these three big clients are the clients who I have been servicing at least for about 5-6 years now. And somewhere in the last couple of months, of these three big clients, two of these clients who regularly give me assignments, about 3-4 assignments every month, 3-4 writing assignments every month, started telling me that, Murli, we probably will not require your services 2-3 months down the line, because we are hiring an internal resource who will do it much cheaper. I immediately retorted saying that are you sure that you are going to get the same quality of work which I offer you, or quality of writing which I offer you with the person whom you're going to hire, because your standards are very high. You always told me that you are dependent on me because my skills in writing are supreme. That is a kind of understanding. And when I probably probed in a little bit, I then gathered more information saying that they have bought enterprise version of ChatGPT or something very similar, and what they want is somebody who's a resource who will probably just do the job of creating prompts and regularly generating articles out of ChatGPT. Again, ChatGPT is the illustration here. That particular client is using ChatGPT. An organization could do a number of AI tools today. I think the market is going to be flooded with similar tools like ChatGPT. And voila, I had a look at their curiosity. They put some of my blog posts in their corporate website, and when I visited their website maybe 3 4 days back, I probably was pleasantly surprised, or should I say, I was shocked to see that when I was assisting them, they used to post only 2 or 3 posts every week, which I used to give them. Today, they are posting 2 posts every day with resource who is only half as expensive as me, or even a quarter as expensive as me. And that resource is a full-time resource with them. He's called as a communications executive, and his only job there is to probably give prompts and generate blog posts or articles on a regular basis. And as I said, rather than my giving 8 articles every month, they are posting 8 articles every week today. And when I probably spoke to someone whom I know within the organization, the immediate answer they said was, we probably completely started using ChatGPT and similar AI tools for this kind of work. And the same thing is happening with many other clients of mine, almost to the point that these writing gigs are not going to be a source of income anymore. I mean, yes, there might be some clients of mine who are probably have a fair amount of personal brand loyalty to me, but even that won't help, because those personal brand loyalties are between individuals. It is between me and somebody in that organization. But that person in the organization, the Spock, single point of contact of mine, is also responsible for a budget, is also responsible for costs, is responsible for a number of things, and his bosses are well aware of what are the changes happening in the AI space. So even if this person is wanting to help me with business, his superiors are going to make him accountable for unnecessary expenditure. So classically, I very, very clearly see that. Of course, you'll appreciate this if you are someone in the writing profession, but I clearly see that writing cannot be a source of regular income anymore. If you're somebody who's surviving depending on that option. Here again, I'm not discounting the fact that, of course, there are very, very famous writers. You have the Chetan Bhagats or Ankur Warikus of the world who make plenty of money writing, and they also offer writing courses where they tell people how you can get rich with using writing as a tool. But the whole point is, fortunately or unfortunately, maybe on 100 people, there are 5 or 6 people who really can make it big. The remaining 90 people are people who are depending on a lot of freelance gigs like these, or someone who's associated with the organization as full-time employers. They may be called anything, but essentially they are doing a content writing job. And this entire universe of content writing jobs, this entire universe of freelancers gigs, using content writing as a primary motto, that space is going to shrink so drastically. I'm being cautious in not saying the word they will vanish fully, but the space is going to shrink so much that maybe on 100 people today who are in that space, maybe 10 or 20 people can survive in the long term. And in that 10 or 20 people, maybe 5 are the best, and remaining 15 manage to pull on. The remaining 80 people or 70 people in that universe of 100 are going to struggle for options, and that is the stage to which these artificial intelligence tools have pushed us today. So very, very clearly, AI is here. AI is a big threat. Unless otherwise we adapt ourselves. I mean, when I say we, I'm saying people like you and me, adapt ourselves to reinvent us, see what else we can do as a career option, see what else we can gather as skills. It is going to be extremely tough in terms of survival. And again, this applies more for someone who's working at the corporate also, because even if you're in a corporate, even if even if you work as a full-time employee, whatever work is going to be possible by artificial intelligence, the company is going to deploy that and probably either they will reassign you to some other role if you wish so, or if you aren't having that broad facet of skills and you know only one or two things, I think they will eventually pink slip you. So that is a stage where things will be, I'm saying, if not today, we are in 2025, decisively in 2028 or 2030, the employment landscape will be so transformed that we will not be able to recognize the roles and responsibilities because of the impact of AI. This is what I wanted to highlight to you. Again, as I said, I gave it I told you information from the perspective of somebody who is into content writing, but this applies to every facet. I'm told that AI tools are being deployed globally to write codes, to test codes, which a whole lot of software engineers or software testing engineers are doing. Similarly, I think machine learning and robotics are being deployed in a big way in the manufacturing process, where the shop floor is completely being taken over by robots, but for very, very crucial human interfaces. So again, I'm not an expert on too many areas, but if you are an expert in your particular space and you are well connected in terms of both the knowledge and people, very, very clearly you will know where artificial intelligence is coming as far as your space is concerned, when it will come, when your organizations are going to deploy, when the companies in your place, in your space, are going to deploy this in a big way, and what kind of threat this is going to pose to you. So this probably is a very, very clear wake up call. That is why I started off by saying that my idea is not to fear monger or probably spread fear amongst people, but very, very clearly reflect on my personal experience and give you an idea of how the workspace or workplaces are transforming in a big way. And very, very clearly, the next few years are going to be extremely critical and will shape up as to how much AI will revamp the work landscape across the globe, and also in India. Uh, as I said, depending on the space you are in, for example, if you are a recruiter, AI tools are being deployed in a big way. AI tools are now taking over all the initial rounds of interviewing and things like that. So it goes on and on and on. Another quick example which I want to give is, again, from my personal experience of making presentations, that was one of another source of revenue or source of income, where making fabulous PowerPoint presentations, one of my huge strengths. Believe me, that space again is vanishing, because you have things like Copilot or AI tools like Copilot or whatever, which are completely taking over that space as well. So that is again another huge area. Like you remember, people used to charge about 20-30K just to make one fancy PowerPoint presentation. Today, those the economies of scale have brought it down to about 5 or 6 thousand, but maybe 1 or 2 years down the line, the job of making presentations will be completely in the hands of artificial intelligence. And similarly, people who are specialists in that area and who are working at full-time jobs will probably have nothing else to do if they are only going to stick to making presentations and say that that is their forte. And this is again, I also keep emphasizing on the fact that you should be very, very ready to learn a lot of new skills. As a matter of fact, writing was something which came natural to me, whereas the skills in PowerPoint which I had acquired was done by spending a lot of time and investment, monetary and otherwise, in undergoing numerous courses and platforms like Udemy, and becoming a fair amount of gathering a fair amount of expertise in PowerPoint. And I can very, very clearly see that all this expertise will go redundant maybe very soon, maybe 6 months, 1 year, or 2 years. Yeah, the expertise is going to remain in me, but there is no demand for that expertise, because those are going to get much, much cheaper, because uh, it is being completely taken over by artificial intelligence. So very clearly, we also see that the intersection of the what we earn or what we are professionally successful is an intersection of what we are passionate about, what we are good at, and what the market is willing to pay. I think that marriage is very, very essential, and that marriage is going to get dislocated in a large way by AI, because you are a good at it, you're passionate about it, but the market is not willing to pay X amount for it. In my case, as I told you, they hired an executive who could use AI tools, and in fact, they asked me that if you are willing to cut your rates by about 50-60%, we'll still work with you. You can maybe use your AI tools and things like that. So very, very clearly, there is a specialty, there is a skill set, but there is no demand. And this disparity will be very, very high because of AI in the coming years. You have to be extremely careful in very, very carefully studying in your space, studying your domain, studying your specialty, and making up your mind and very, very clearly deciding on what will be your career pathway ahead. If you need to diversify, you need to diversify, or if you need to probably gather additional skills, you gather additional skills, and you have to really see what are the irreplaceable skills. Again, earlier on we used to talk about skills which are irreplaceable by humans. Now we also have to see if our skills are going to be difficult to be replaced by AI. Any skill which you have today, if it can be replaced by AI. I think there is no point at all. It is no more a irreplaceable skill. Rather, any skill which is not possible to be replicated or duplicated either by a human or by an artificial intelligence tools, those are the real irreplaceable skills from now on. And believe me, that will be the brute reality 5 years down the line. This is the very, very important information I wanted to share with you. I used my experience in the recent past primarily to highlight as to how things are evolving very, very rapidly in the market space. I'm sure you found this useful, and I'm sure you'll probably be better equipped to understand what is happening in the marketplace vis-a-vis your own job and the how AI tools are going to reshape your space. Thank you. Consider sharing this with people whom you know. I'll probably see you soon in another video. You can probably consider liking and subscribing to this channel. It was a pleasure connecting with you. I wish you all the very best in your life and career ahead. Thank you.